So yeah, again, how the participants reacted. So to the active listener, they were more engaged and happier. They were really excited to tell us what they were talking about. And then to the distracted listener, they were like more insecure and less engaged, and they felt you could tell that they felt awkward and that they just they didn't know what was going on, they didn't want to do it. And in the questionnaire, they described the active listener as more interested, and then they also said the distracted listener made them feel ignored and unimportant.
Okay, so we also wanted to go over how we could improve our active listening. Um, we found a couple of rules for it. According to the U.S. Department of State website, there were some rules which help with active listening, and these include seeking to understand before you try, seeking to understand before you try to be understood. We need to know what they're saying before we can even respond. You know, they could be talking about something totally different, and if you didn't understand what you're saying, you can't get your point across and be understood just as good. You also gotta be non-judgmental. If people feel as though you're gonna be judging them, they're not gonna want to talk as much. They don't want to associate so much with you. And then you also want to give the speaker undivided attention. When your attention is wandering from the speaker, they notice and they know that you don't want to be a part of that conversation, and they don't want to keep talking to you if you don't want to be a part of the conversation. And another thing that I thought was really cool is you want to use silence effectively. If you don't let there be silence and you just try to fill it with your own thoughts and your own trying to talk back to them, they're not going to continue as much. If you let silence go, they'll know that it's okay for them to continue talking. They'll know that you're listening to them, and it's just what they say is important to you.
Yeah, so here are some more continued rules for active listening. So this is according to Center for Creative Leadership. So it's specifically for leaders, but I think it can help us all. So number 1 is to be attentive and allow wait time before responding. So listen to the person before you speak and come up with a solution. 2 is to be open-minded, again, no judgment. You ask them questions like, what do you think about, and will you further explain? You ask probing questions so you get them to speak more. You request clarification, so you are like, is that what you meant by that or whatever? And then you paraphrase what they say, and then you also need to be attuned to their feelings and say, sounds like you're feeling this way because you said that or whatever, and then they can correct you if they're feeling wrong. And then if at the end you just need to summarize what they're saying, and then they can clarify things for you and make things, you just you restate what they say to make sure that you have it all okay. And then for our review, so we're just going to go over, our goal was to discover how active listening impacts the quality of conversation, and so we defined what active listening was. It's a way of listening and responding to another person that improves mutual understanding, and there are physical and verbal signs of active listening, and there are also many signs for not active listening that you can pay attention to, like them fidgeting or verbal and physical signs. And the importance of active listening, it can affect all of us. Like, we are all affected by how people listen to us and if they care about us. And our project was our experiment where we brought in our participants and we had them tell us about their favorite memory, and they had an active listener and a non-active listener, and then we recorded their responses. And then we also discussed how we can improve our active listening skills and how there are different methods on how to improve them.
Okay, so in conclusion, active listening is an essential skill we should all work on. While using active listening, messages will be communicated much more clearly and effectively. It's important. We can all improve. I know for me, I find myself interrupting other people so often to get my own point across, and then
So I sometimes, again, find that I talk a lot more than I listen, and I think that potentially can damage my relationships, and I really need to improve on that. And
So we encourage you all to go out and try active listening and just see how it is. Try it for a day and then see how your relationships improve and how your overall communication skills improve.